Buddha delivered this Metta Sutta to 500 monks. So this sutta is especially for the monks. But for yogis, if they practice accordingly, and they can get a lot of benefits. And Buddha delivered this Metta Sutta. If you want to dwell penetrating the state of calm, if you want to dwell penetrating the state of nirvana, and if you are skilled in your good, you should practice the three kinds of training. Meditator should be able, upright, very upright, obedient, gentle, and not conceited. Meditator should be contented, easy to take care of. Super raw, easily supported by both male and female benefactors. Monks have to depend on devotees, the benefactors. We live in this community, we live in this society. We are depending on each other. The monk have to be dependent on the devotees. So Buddha said, Subaroja, monks should be easily supported by both male and female benefactors. Despite the fact that four requisites, meals, robes, lodging, medicine, offered by the benefactors may not be always good enough to meet our taste or liking. These should be accepted and made use of without grumble and uttering with grant. When people offer, you should not complain. It is not for a monk to pick and choose any kinds of requisites offered in donation. Otherwise, it will be a burden to the benefactors to support easily. It was stated that in our country at one time there was a monk who refused to take meat without a dish of chicken curry. Because he liked chicken curry and devotees are very generous. So every day devotees have to prepare chicken curry. So benefactors had to be always worrying about a dish of chicken curry to be provided. And at one time, while traveling, no chicken dish was available due to circumstances. That monk totally protested. The monk abstained from taking meat for the whole day. So it is not understood why that monk had behaved in that odd manner. whether because he had made a vow emulating a symbol of a Samanera by the name of Panita, who was desirous of taking his meals only when a dish of Majin fish was included in the menu. It is mentioned in the Dhammavada Vutu. We cannot say for certain. Such an attitude would amount to dobra, difficult to take care of, instead of subra, easy to take care of. It is for all monks and yogis to be satisfied with meals as may be offered by the benefactors or supporter or volunteers. Some of the narrow-minded monk might become rude and make a wry face, despite the fact that the offering made by the donor are of good quality, unless these are they are lacking. Sometimes in the presence of the donors, the monk might show his anger and greed. He show his annoyance, blaming the donors with the offerings by giving them away to others. Such a monk is one hard to be pleased and easily supported by the benefactors. A monk who is easy to take care of accepts what is offered, whether good or bad, with satisfaction and delight, which will be reflected on his face. A monk who is greedy, we find it difficult to develop a feeling of metta, loving kindness. It will also be difficult for him to achieve realizations of the Dhamma in the practice of various kinds of meditation. That is why Buddha had given instruction to become a meditator or monk, easy to take care of in the practice of Metta Bhavana and Vipassana Bhavana. Easy supported means a monk does not make too much fuss about what he gets. When someone brings something, a monk must not say, I don't want this, I want the good qualities. Such person or such monks are very difficult to support. Contentment and being easily supported, these are the two qualities that monk should really have. Monks and yogis must be contented with what already have, and they must be contented with what other people give to them. When they have these two qualities, they live in real happiness. Santo Sakocha Subarocha Apakecho. Having few duties or free from care. The best thing for one who is honestly developing any kinds of meditation is to abstain himself from performing other duties, or to keep himself or herself free from other duties except in matters which are unavoidably essential to be attended to. So it has been instructed to have few duties. Because practicing vipassana is very important in our life, so other duty have to put aside. And present moment is very precious. Seeing moment, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing. The moment, the present moment lasts for that particular time, and does not last very long. So to capture the present object, to understand the reality, it is very urgent to observe immediately. So if the person have many duties, many activities, many engagement, he is weak to capture the presently arising object. So it is very urgent to capture the immediately appearing and disappearing nature of mind and matter. So yogi should be carefree, only just emphasize in noting continuously and diligently. Yogi should have few duties. That means yogi should not have many things to do. Everything have to be cut off. Less talking, less sleeping, less eating. Yogi should not be very busy. He or she should not be busy with worldly things. He should not be busy with things that are not conducive to capture the reality. If the yogi has to have anything to do, if the monk has to have anything to do, there should be the priyati, patipati, that is practice of Dhamma, and priyati, study the teaching of the Buddha. Other duties, other things to do are just extra things for the monks. They are not needed for a monk. Monk duty is to do priyati and pripati, practice and studying. Sanlukavoti, light living, have light living or have few possession. That means to be contented with just the 8 requisites for a monk, such as robes, bowl, etc. Possessing a lot of personal belongings will make the monk become burdensome and preoccupied with the work of managing these properties. If a number of things are to be carried when proceeding to a certain place, it would cause a lot of trouble and inconvenience. The 8 requisites of the monk, Prakara, are the 3 robes, the bowl, the belt, and the needle, a razor, and water strainer. These 8 requisites are not heavy and many to be kept and cared for at any place of residence and can also be taken along personally without being burdensome. So to live with these essential requisites is not burdensome. These 8 requisites may be said to be light and convenient. Among those 8 requisites of a monk, during these days, the needle is not really essential for the monk. The robes are readily available. In this country, people offer a lot of robes. And there is no need to be sewn and stitched by hand personally. During the time of the Buddha, they have to sew the robe and stitch by hand. As nowadays, no robe worn by the present day monks are in rags. As these are in good condition, it will never come into one's head to take along a needle when traveling to any other place away from the residence. Mahasi Sayadaw said that at one time Sayadaw proceeded to Indonesia to promote Sasana, and Sayadaw forgot to take along with him the needle and thread. All 3 robes which Sayadaw took with him were all brand new. However, at one time it was found that in one of the robes, a line of stitch which was originally defective had gone loose. Then Mahasi Sayadaw had to think of the way how it could be mended. And Mahasi Sayadaw consulted with Venerable Arya Vansa from Sri Lanka, who was in their group. And the monk said he had with him a needle and thread, and that he would do the stitching. And Mahasi Sayadaw told him that it would not be troublesome for him to stitch it up and requested him to lend him his needle and thread for the purpose. In view of this incident, it has occurred to Mahasi Sayadaw that it would be advisable to take along a needle and thread when traveling on a long-distance journey. Carrying a needle and thread is not at all burdensome. It is quite easy and light. Nowadays, some of the monks do not take along even the bowl to avoid inconvenience, and also because food is readily obtainable at any place where the monk reach. During the lifetime of the Buddha and the commentators, when monks went to attend the conference of the Sangha, and when proceeding to attend ceremony for the Uposatha, they usually take along with them bowl and 3 ropes. So Mahasi Sayadaw have instructed his disciple monks to carry with them their bowls whenever they are to go to far place and any other place for a visit or for taking meals in response to the invitation. The next important requisite is the water strainer. If one proceed to a place which is about a half yojana, that is about 4 miles or so, a water strainer should be carried, otherwise it would constitute a breach of the rules of discipline known as Dokata Abati. That is, he would be guilty of monk rules. So within the city limits of big city, if monks have to visit a place in the city on some business, if the distance is about 4 miles away from their respective temple, water strainer must be taken with them. If there is no proper water strainer, a handkerchief may be taken along, bearing in mind that it will be used in substitute for a water strainer when necessary. To say the least, it would be borne in mind that the rope which monk wears will be made use of as a water strainer when the occasion demands. A monk who is really bent upon practicing meditation will not find it but troublesome to carry with him all the 8 requisites for a bhikkhu. It is not burdensome at all, and these can be easily carried, just like a bird whose wings are automatically born when it flies. What is required will then be fulfilled with these 8 requisites of a monk. In this condition, Mahasi Sayadaw recounted his personal experience. Let us see how Mahasi Sayadaw practiced according to the teaching of San Lohukavoti, light living. When Mahasi Sayadaw was in 8 Vasa, Sayadaw went in search of a suitable meditation center, accompanied by a companion monk from Molamyai to Polamyai Tawangli Monastery. Mazi Sayadaw had no umbrella, no slipper, etc. Only about 8 requisites: bows, ropes, razor, etc. Bow, ropes, belt, razor, water strainer, and needle were carried with him. Sayadaw had no cash for traveling expenses. A railway ticket for the certain journey from Molamyai to Pau was provided by a kapiya, a lay devotee from Molamyai. Sayadaw took the train only up to that small town, which has a railway station along the road. The rest of the journey was mostly performed on foot tramping, only rely on his foot. For some sector of the journey, Sayadaw was lucky to ride on a train, as there was a donor by chance who provided a railway ticket as a charity. Devotees are so lovely. Whenever they meet the good monk, they are very generous. They want to provide everything the monk needs. Mahasi Sayadaw visited Chaityo Golden Rock Pagoda on barefoot, and from there he came back, eventually reaching Tatong, Mingun, Jedwin Monastery and Meditation Center, where Mahasi Sayadaw took up meditation practice under the guidance of Venerable Mingun Jedwin Sayadaw Ji. It is how Sayadaw had traveled to be able to practice vipassana personally. It was in accordance with the instruction known as Sanlahuka Vodi, light living. Simple livelihood means just simple living. A monk should possess a few things. He should not possess many things, because monks lead a life of homelessness. Although they may be living in the monastery or temple or center, they are living a homeless life. They must be able to get up and go wherever they like without much to carry. There are 8 requisites for monks. When they have these 8 requisites, it is enough to lead the life of a monk. In the days of the Buddha, 8 requisites were allowed. For other monks, 10 or 12 requisites were allowed. They were not much: bows, ropes, maybe a staff, sandal, just these things. When monks live simple lives, when they do not possess many things, they are free to go any place. They don't have to worry about carrying these things to wherever they go. It would be very good if monks nowadays could be of simple livelihood. Nowadays monks have so many things. If monks were to move to another place, you have to rent a car to carry many things. So it is said that a monk or meditators should be like a migratory birds. A bird has only its wings as its property. Whenever birds wants to go to another place, they just take their wings with them. Monks and meditators should be like birds. We are practicing monks, practicing meditators, so we should be of simple livelihood or light livelihood. They must be light enough to go anywhere without many possessions. There are monks who have few possessions, and there are monks who have many possessions. It depends on the type of monk. We should be the monk who have few possessions, Sanlahurka Voti. There was a story of renowned monk who lived in Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka. A friend of his who was fond of having many things once went to visit him. Since that monk was very famous, the other monk thought that there would be many people bringing delicious food and things to the monastery in the early morning. But in the morning, nobody came. The resident monk told the visiting monk to pick up your bowl and go out for alms round. So they went out for alms and came back. Then the visiting monk thought that it was morning, that people did not come. During the daytime, before noon, people will bring food to us, he thought. But nobody came. In this way, the resident monk lived very simply with no belongings. One day when they were going for alms, the visiting monk told the resident monk of a certain place away from the city. He said that it was very lovely and that is very good, a lot of food and a lot of requests to be offered, people offer. So he suggested that resident monk go there. And the resident monk replied, well, let us go there. At that time they were going for alms. They were not at the monastery. The resident monk just said, let us go now. However, the visiting monk said, please wait. I have left things at your monastery. I have left my stuff, I have left my many things, my bowl, my robes, my things, many. I have to take them with me. Then the resident monk asked, why do you have so many things? So the visiting monk told the resident monk that he need not to go any other place. Any place is good place for him. Since the city of Anuradhapura, there was the stupa in which the relics of the Buddha were enshrined. He need not to go any other place. So leaving the resident monk at the place, the visiting monk left. This mentioned that there are monks who have many belongings and there are monks who have few belongings. Some monks, they are proud of a lot of monastery, a lot of temple they have. They are proud of these having many possessions. The next one is Santindriya. Is a moral quality of calmness and self-restraint. Indriya, it means the six sense doors: eyes, door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door, and mind door. We can see only if there is an eye sensitivity. When an object is seen, it can be perceived as much as the eye sensitivity with its strength of vision can see. So the eye sensitivity is governable insofar as the faculty of seeing is concerned. Because it is so governable, the eye sensitivity is called Chakundriya. The eardrums, in respect of its faculty of hearing, is also governable. That is why the eardrums is called Sotindriya. All these indriya, all these faculties should be kept under restraint with a tranquil mind. If good or pleasant sights and sounds are seen or heard, as the case may be, a person who is attracted to these sensational objects will find them pleasurable, and then he will become fidgety. He becomes restless, smiling and laughing when sensation arises from good smell, fine taste, delicious taste, and pleasurable touch. In the same way, when he sees an ugly sight, he hears unpleasant sound, he smells bad odors, etc., he becomes perturbed and restless if he is unable to tolerate such bad sensation. He may even murmur and grumble. So it is necessary to practice restraint and remain calm and unperturbed in connection with both good and bad sensation. So meditator should keep his or her mind at peace and control himself or herself by reflection and also by contemplating and noting. The best way is to keep control of our own mind by contemplating and noting at the moments of seeing, hearing, smelling, etc. Now you are practicing restraint. It will not be easy to do so for those people who have no experience in contemplating mindfulness. So it will be sufficient enough for him to remain indifferent whether the ordinary sensations are good or bad. If, however, painful sensation become extreme, he should try his utmost to control them through reflection. When Buddha was staying in Savatthi, there were 5 monks in Savatthi. Each of them practiced restraint of just one out of the 5 senses, and each of them claimed that what he was practicing was the most difficult. One monk claimed restraint in the eyes is good. Another man said, restraint in the ears is good. Another monk said, restraint in the nose is good. Another monk said, restraint in the tongue is good. And other monk said, restraint in the body is good. And the restraint in these senses I am practicing is the most difficult. The said in this way, and they could not come to an agreement, so they reported their disagreement to the Buddha, and Buddha told them, each of the senses is just as difficult to control as the others, but the bhikkhu, the monk, meditators, who control all the five senses, we escape from the rounds of suffering. Chakuna samvara sadhu, sadhu sotina samvara. Kanina samvara sadhu, sadhu jivaya samvara. Kayina samvara sadhu, sadhu vachaya samvara. Manasa samvara sadhu, sadhu sabata samvara. Sabata samvuto bhikkhu sabba dukkha pamojjati. Buddha said to the five bhikkhus. That means good is restrained in the eyes, good is restrained in the ear, good is restrained in the nose, good is restrained in the tongue, good is restrained in the body, good is restrained in the speech, good is restrained in the mind. Restraint everywhere is good. The meditators, restraint in every way, is free from all suffering. Buddha said to them, to restrain in every senses, in all senses, eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So can you follow me? God is restrained in the eyes. God is restrained in the eyes. God is restrained in the ear. God is restrained in the nose. God is restrained in the tongue. God is restrained in the body. God is restrained in the speech. God is restrained in the mind. Restraint in all senses is good. The bhikkhu meditators, restraint in all senses is free from all suffering. The bhikkhu meditators, restraint in all senses is free from all suffering. Now you are practicing this restraint, Shakuna's Rupandesa, according to the teaching of the Satipatthana, contemplating the body, feeling, consciousness, and Dhamma object, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, then you can remove desire and discontent. You can maintain the seeing as seeing, hearing as hearing, smelling as smelling, tasting as tasting, touching as touching, and knowing as knowing. Because you comprehend clearly, you practicing, you are observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses. And when your concentration getting better, you comprehend clearly. Whatever objects you put your mind on, you see it clearly. When you concentrate on abdomen, you see the abdomen clearly, the abdomen, rising abdomen distinctly from falling abdomen, the falling abdomen distinctly from rising abdomen. And you see the arising and disappearing. So when you see every psychophysical phenomena arising and disappearing, they are suffering nature and non-self nature, you can maintain the phenomena at the moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. By this way, you are practicing Santindriya. Santindriya, you can remain calm, you are not unperturbed in connection with both good and bad sensation. And you can keep your mind at peace and control yourself by reflection and by contemplating and noting continuously. So we have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by noting rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously, may all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all meditators realize the real peace in the very near future.